in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, Newsgaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you on a current topic. And today our topic is role of youth in professionalism. Professionalism is the conduct, behavior and attitude of someone in a work or business environment. A person doesn't have to work in a specific profession to demonstrate the important qualities and characteristics of a professional. Professionalism leads to workplace success, a strong professional reputation, and a high level of work ethic and excellence. In a recent study on career readiness conducted by NACE, National Association of Colleges and Employers, employers who hire college graduates were asked which professional competence were essential to workplace success. Professionalism and work ethic topped the list with 97.5% of respondents identifying it as either absolutely essential or essential for a new college hire's success. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines professionalism as the conduct, aims, or qualities that characterize or mark a profession or a professional person. And it defines a profession as a calling requiring specialized knowledge and often long and intensive academic preparation. These definitions imply that professionalism encompasses a number of different attributes, and together these attributes identify and define a professional. A professional is a member of a profession or any person who earns their living from a specified professional activity. The term also describes the standards of education and training that prepare members of the profession with the particular knowledge and skills necessary to perform their specific role within that profession. In addition, most professionals are subject to strict codes of conduct, enshrining rigorous ethical and moral obligations. Professional standards of practice and ethics for a particular field are typically agreed upon and maintained through widely recognized professional associations. Some definitions of professional limit this term to those professions that serve some important aspect of public interest and the general good of society. It is essential to be professional if you want to be a success. But what does being professionally actually means? For some, being professional might mean dressing smartly at work or doing a good job. For others, being professional means having advanced degrees or other certifications framed and hung on the office wall. Professionalism encompasses all of these definitions, but it also covers much more. The concepts of professionalism, profession, and professionalization have received considerable and sometimes critical attention in sociology. In early British and American analysis, professionalism was identified as an occupational value that was important for the stability and civility of social systems. In those interpretations, professional relations were characterized as collegial, cooperative, and mutual supportive. Relations of trust characterized practitioners, client, and practitioner management interactions as competence was assumed to be guaranteed by education, by training, and sometimes by licensing. It's often experience that helps a professional get their foot on the door at a new job. But it takes more than skill alone to be truly impactful at most organizations. Companies across numerous industries are looking for candidates who are tactful, communicative, reliable, and generally pleasant to work with. They are looking for professionalism. The way you appear and behave in an employment setting can send a number of different messages to hiring managers and colleagues. In fact, employees who demonstrate professionalism in the workplace are often perceived to be more competent and valuable. It's also important to recognize that nearly every individual can work to improve in this area. In the working world, your professionalism encompasses the way you carry yourself, your attitude, and the ways you communicate with others. Being professional can ensure a positive first impression, successful interpersonal relationships, and a lasting reputation within your organization and industry. Whether you are preparing for an interview, starting your first day on the job, or advancing in your career, professionalism and workplace etiquettes are always important. The skill, good judgment, and polite behavior that is expected from a person who is trained to be a job well. Professionalism is commonly understood as an individual's adherence to a set of standards, code of conduct, or collection of qualities that characterize accepted practice within a particular area of activity. While a small number of higher education programs supporting youth work began in the 1980s, there has been a recent increase in the number of youth development credentialing programs. The difference between professional and professionalism is that professional is a person who belongs to a profession, while professionalism is the status, method, character, or standards expected of a professional or of a professional organization, such as reliability, discretion, even handedness, and fair play. And to discuss today's program, the topic role of youth in professionalism, we have few youth guests and we have chief guest. And our chief guest today is Professor Dr. P.P. Devan. Dr. Devan has been the professor and head of head and neck surgery of AJ Medical College for 11 years and associate dean for 7 years. He won 2 gold medals for outstanding research in South India ENT conference. His chapters in the international medical textbooks are read nearly 800 times a month. Welcome, Dr. P.P. Devan, on our show. Dr. Devan, today's topic, as you know, is a role of youth in professionalism. And we know very well that you are one of a leading person who always give training to the students, medical students, and even otherwise also about the professionalism. And you have also given trainings to the very big corporate houses where you have also told them what is the professionalism. And today we are lucky that you have come to our show and you are going to speak about the role of youth in professionalism. Professor Dr. P.P. Devan, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Lal Goel, it is indeed an honor to be here. And the thing is, we are doing it free. You know, earlier we have done these paid programs. So all of what you're about to witness, you are indeed fortuitous. Number one, what you're about to witness has been long number of years in the making. My journey in my professional career, so many points you got to be very careful of. You put in so much of effort, but many other factors can govern will you get derailed or will your career rise to the very top. So shall we therefore one by one focus on points which if you're not clear on, many things can go wrong. And believe me, when you things go wrong, that is the end of your journey. There'll be nobody to help you. So brace and look into each of these points. Now, the first thing as heading a department, the first thing I focus on as a professional, you may be so good in so many things, but the first thing I will emphasize is communication skills. What do you mean by that? Communication skills. I will only say one sentence: keep your mouth shut. because we come without a license to what we can talk, and we talk utter nonsense, and what you say will be held against you. You got to be very careful. Keep your mouth shut. Why? Loose lips sink ships. Realize that. Loose lips sink ships. So what does an organization want? They don't want, I tell my employees and faculty, we don't want you to talk loose talk with anybody, nobody. Keep your mouth shut. Number one. Two, a slip of the tongue, a slip of the foot, you can soon recover, but a slip of the tongue, you can never recover. So, gauge, judge, weigh, and then only deliver out from your mouth, because a slip of the foot, you can soon recover, but a slip of the tongue, you can never recover. That is the end of your journey. I tell my postgraduates, one word against me, either in front or behind my back, against my institution, my faculties, my facilities, my organization, one negative word, that is the end of your career here. You can seek elsewhere. So, why am I spending a little more time on this? Because it is of paramount importance. I've seen faculty members ejected out of a team because they don't fit into the team, because they are so negative. We must, have the grace to find the good in everything. Everything there is some good. Find the good. Charles Schwab, who built one of the biggest industries, what was his driving motto? Be hearty in your appreciation and lavish in your praise. There's so much to appreciate, so much to find the good, and be hearty in your appreciation and lavish in your praise, especially about your boss. When my children joined for their jobs, I didn't say work hard, look after your health. I only said your boss is your God. He can make you or break you. Why do I say that? When organizations restructure and the boss is given a higher um, a higher calling, and he's starting a new venture, whom will he handpick amongst his team? Those who are those who are indebted and dedicated to him. He who knows, if the boss feels this is a guy who is invaluable and I can be part of my team, believe me, your trajectory can be incredible. So therefore, that is one thing you need to realize. Your boss is your God. Nobody will tell you these things. One wrong word against your boss, either to your colleague or behind his back or somewhere or some place you write, it will come to his attention. After all, to be a boss, it's taken years and years of sacrifice and years of trouble and so much of deficits. We will have our own deficits, but I am there to improve it. Nobody needs to point out to me that no, that's not the way. So therefore, your boss is your God. So what is the first thing is keep your mouth shut. Number two, if you want to open it, speak only positive. Whatsoever it is, you have not come to improve this world. You have come to improve yourself. There is so much for you to improve. Your voice, your diction, your delivery, your syntax, your knowledge, your expertise, and the limits of your knowledge about the English language. There's so much introspect within, not without, and improve yourself, your body posture, the way you dress, and all that. So the third is, by chance you are asked to sort of take on an undertaking, and if you give your word, make sure it is written in granite and you honor it. Because if you cannot honor your word, don't give it. Because let your words be hammered out in granite. If the boss says, if the chief says you are interested, you are with a particular task, and I expect it to be done by tomorrow morning 11, only if you can fulfill it should you take on that task. Do not just to please the boss say, okay, I will get it done and I'll see it. No, never ever do that. Whatever you undertake, make sure that you can honor it. That is why I have no political or religious leanings. But what does the Quran say? Make sure your word is hammered out in granite. And next, there's so much to criticize. But as a doctor, I've seen there are people who are continuously critical of others. They criticize others in their behavior, in their dress, in their demeanor, in their caliber. Why do we do that? Please know the definition. A critic is one who absolves himself of his own irresponsibility by projecting onto those who are making an effort. Again, let me say that I have no religious or political leanings, but the Veda, what does it say? Aham Brahmasmi, means I am that. I am part of the universe. And if you're continuously criticizing else, then you're part of the universe. You're criticizing you too. And I've seen this terrible thing that's happened among so many of my colleagues. They are so negative and critical. Eventually, they land up with a cancer. They land up with a cancer. It is so devastating and it is so sad. But I've seen people who are so negative, eventually a cancer will develop because the body says, if this fellow does not like anything else in this world, maybe he does not like himself. Let us just shut the door, close the thing, and move on. So do not criticize. A critic, I repeat, is one who absolves himself of his own irresponsibility by projecting onto those who are making an effort. So find a reason to praise. If you cannot do that, just keep your mouth shut and do not talk about a third party. You can talk to me about me. You can talk to me about you, but do not talk about a third party. He's like that. She's like that. Boss is like this. No, under any circumstance, no. And the second next is do not repeat a third party comment while you are with your friend or whomever or a rival competing company or a colleague. They may say certain things. Do not repeat a third party comment. Never ever do that because that will sort of go against you. So I want to reconnoiter the whole thing again. Keep your mouth shut, whatever it is. If you open your mouth, speak only positive. Find the good in anything and everything, and especially about your organization, about your boss, about your company, about the policies. If you have a real grievance and if you feel that you can contribute to addressing that grievance, you can directly go to the chief and say, I am facing this problem. I am facing this problem. Why should you do that? Because recently somebody did a study in live your life according to that. Somebody did a study. What was the study? The last few minutes of death, in the last few minutes or the last few breaths, what is the great thing that you grieve? I wish, what are the greatest feelings, regrets of the dying? I wish I had chosen a career dear to me. I wish I had not worked so hard. I wish I had kept in touch with my friends. I wish I had the decision to be happy. And lastly, I wish I had chosen to go and see the world and kept in touch with my friends. You see, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings, the last regret of the dying. So if you're really hurt, it is rather, you see Nelson Mandela, how he did that. You meet up with a person and then say, I'm really hurt and I'm so sorry if I have come in your way in some way. Please forgive, and then reconciliate and build a great friendship. Because if you're an enemy, that enemy will be continuously waiting for you to trip and then hammer you. So as far as possible, so patch up. If you have any grievance with somebody, patch up and then build a great trust and forge a great friendship. Now, I often we get forwards of some message or some email. What is professionalism? You must immediately reply. I've seen great professional guys. They will, it may be just one word. Okay, yes, no, yes. But there are those who do not respond at all. And that creates bad blood. So in the matter of response, one thing I want to clarify, react, respond, restrain. Whenever there is a problem, you can either react to it. It will lead to bad blood. You can respond to it. Again, it will lead to ill feelings. But if you restrain, keep your mouth shut, who will solve it? The universe will solve it. Leave it to the universe. You have so many problems in your journey. If you have a problem, if you cannot sort of address it, do not react or respond. Just restrain, leave it to the universe. The universe will solve it. Now, I have put an enormous amount of effort in my speaking skills. Have you so far found me to say, maybe, well, so some people use the so many times that that becomes the dominant part of their verbiage. No, avoid that. Practice speaking, memorize sentences. I have memorized hundreds of sentences from very many novels that I've read and written them in a book of sentences which I will by heart. By heart is a way to imbibe memory. You simply cannot understand this current concept of the new medical policy, or sorry, the education policy. You need to understand. No, that's not the way. The world, if you want to forge ahead, by heart is the way to go. That is how the original Nalanda and Takshashila came into being. But then the Britishers came and said, no, we need to break the Indian backbone. And they stopped this by hearting technique, and that was looked down upon. So therefore, that is something that is true. And in your thing in profession, you have in your work, primarily you're all part of a team. What is the full form? Together, everybody achieves more. And in that regard, by chance, there is a misunderstanding. You need to go up to the person. I'm so sorry. There's a misunderstanding. I do not want to hurt. And I'm so sorry that I came in your way or same. In my own college, there was a professor with whom I had a misunderstanding, and we never used to look at each other. But one day he came up and said, "We are got to live in the same campus. Why are you behaving like this? Let us patch up." He shook hands with me and then said, "Let us forge a great friendship." My God, I said, to me, he is God, because he had the humility to come and say, "Why are we behaving like this?" I should have gone and, as the associate dean of the college, I should have gone and said, "Listen, you have hurt me and let us patch up and forgive." No, he came to me and said, "Let us shake hands and be friends." And after that, of course, our friendship is far more stronger than it would otherwise have been. Voice, the Harvard Business Review, as far as a professional, as far as males are concerned, voice has a distinct bearing. The Harvard Business Review says a guy with a deeper voice has a higher potential to earn more. That's how in the professional world it is. I had a very high pitched voice, and if you look at my Adam's apple, it was far higher. But then I'm from the Department of Voice, and I engage the laryngeal depressors to push my Adam's apple far deeper down, and eventually morphed into what is called a chest register. The moment you talk in a chest register, of course, we can make your voice as deep as you want, either medically by certain maneuvers or even by surgery. There is a surgery to develop a very powerful voice. And believe me, when you have a deeper voice, you have an instant attraction when you speak, when you intonate, when you give a lecture, when you have an interview. The voice has a definite bearing on how your career unfolds. Now, in your journey of a career, I have seen students, they are so good in their work, they're so good, still their career is stuck. Believe me, you need to understand the hot air balloon goes up not by what is outside, not by what is outside, by what is inside. If you are humble, there is no limit to your growth, and you need to understand that. If you are humble, the higher, there is no limit. Humility is the hallmark of greatness, and that's how it is. And finally, a couple of points. Number one is, what do I talk about a profession? You're in an organization. Be the first to come and the last to go. Be the first to come. If 8:30, I expect you to be here at 8:25, and I expect you to be here till the exam. I went as an examiner to a medical college. Most of the faculties have already left before the exam is over. I said, how can I told the HOD, how can you even allow that? You got to be strong, and you got to draw the line and say this is how it is. In a major program like an exam, all faculties have to stay back. So consequently, therefore, time is money. I get patients from abroad, and when they say today morning 10:30 we need an interview, 10:20 they will be online. That's how it should be. So therefore, every minute counts. If your interview is at 10:25, 10:20 you should be there, preferably a little more earlier, because on your journey something can go wrong, and during the thing it's always be on time. That has absolutely a sway. Now in medical, there's so many things that can go wrong concerning males regarding the female gender, and that is a Me Too phenomenon. Today's world, you have built so much into your career, but then one wrong step, so many people have suffered. Me Too. That is a great thing that you got to really avoid, because the human male brain, I need to take a second. What governs sexual desire in females? It is testosterone. What governs sexual desire in males is also testosterone. What is the female level? 90 nanogram per deciliter. In males, it is 900 or 1000 nanogram. So, which means the human male brain is continuously hammered. Whatsoever it is, you cannot derail your career just for a few moments of indiscretion. And therefore, that is something that you will absolutely avoid. And I also said that about humility, be absolutely humble. I've seen students, they may be average, they may be same, but when they are humble, they have grown to dizzying heights. I'm not really very fantastic, very much academic or great or anything, but of my classmates in Manipal, I studied in Manipal, out of 132 students, I am the only one who has become a professor, head of department, associate dean. Not just that it reflects on anything, but it reflects one word. My mother told me when I was in the fourth or fifth standard. She said, "Do you know the true meaning of Christianity?" I said, "I have no religious or political leanings." She said, "Do you know the true meaning of Christianity?" This one word, ego, cut it. and let your ego die at the cross. I've seen people who are egoistical, their career will be short lived. So be absolutely humble. That's what everybody likes. And the third thing is sometimes your body language projects leadership or subservience or arrogance. One faculty in my department, whenever he sort of comes to my office, he will only keep his hand on his hip and talk. I said, no, don't do that. In spite of 2 3 times, I don't like it. Others may tolerate it, but I don't like it. Wherever you are, do not keep your hand on your hip and then talk. It reflects arrogance. Don't do that. Be humble. Let your body language, nature talks in mysterious tones, and your body language itself should convey the image and impression that you're humble and you're respectful of whomever you are in the company of. And of course, by chance you get some benefit or some gift or some appreciation, please immediately acknowledge. Quite often we do not acknowledge whatever the benefits we get. The boss gives you a slight increment, straight go and thank the boss profusely or the organization and acknowledge, thank you so much for all the good that you have done for me. Of course, I said be the first to come and last to go. And people say in social life, how should you mold yourself? They say, look at the dog. The dog, it is no wonder when you spell it backwards, it becomes God. But the dog, even if it sniffs from afar, even if it sees you in the corner of the eye, it will come bounding with joyous pleasure, hug you, lick you. That is the way social expression. If I feel that, listen, this faculty, even though they saw me not just within the campus but outside the campus as well, they saw me and then pretended not to see. Oh, then I will wait for my chance, because the human nature is such. So whenever you see anybody of your organization, go straight up to them, acknowledge them, wish them, and ask if they require any help. After all, in our journey, when we help another soul, then that fills our spiritual bank. Do some good to fill your spiritual bank. Why? Not the commercial bank, spiritual bank. Why? To buy the things money can't buy. What is it that money can't buy? Number one, a long professional career. Number two, normal healthy children. Three, caring family. Four, a standing in the society. These are gifted to you by the good that you do and not by the tons of money that you may make. You have seen so much of suffering amongst the rich. Why? Because money can harm. Believe me, and if you've not done this, do it. What should you do? Take 10%. That's why all major religious organizations at 10th, at 10th, at 10th, at 10% of your income, take it and throw it. Where? Throw it. Charity begins at home. What does home mean? Home is where your heart is, where your colleagues are, where your friends are, where your family is. Don't give it to the poor. I do not give to the poor because the poor are poor by choice. I have been working 7 days a week for the last 3 4 decades. You ask the poor to wash a car or wipe this thing or do something manual labor, they will not do. So therefore, you can choose to be hard work, no pain, no gain, through the thorns to the stars. If you put very hard work, you will be rich. But 10% of your money, throw it to your colleagues. Take your colleague for a dinner. Take your office mate for a movie. Or if somebody's got a birthday, give a lavish gift. And when you gift something, don't buy the smallest or the cheapest. Imagine you're gifting yourself. That's why the Vedic thing called Aham Brahmasmi. Imagine you're giving yourself. Believe me, it will multiply and come back to you in very many other ways. So apart from that, absolutely stay away from politics and religion. I had a board outside. Leave your footwear, your ego, and your religion outside and come in as a humble soul. Because race, color, and creed does not matter. Everybody's blood is red. So as a consequence, be absolutely devoid of any religious or political leanings and continuously endeavor to be the better version of yourself. Am I the better version of myself, what I was a year back? Continuously, should I make sure that I'm far more better built, or better voice, or better knowledge, or better English, or better pronunciation, or a better human? Be a nice human. People sometimes are so nasty, evil, and wicked. Sometimes I tell people it's because people have become so demeaning that the universe has sent this coronavirus. In spite of it, people have not improved. You see, in spite of this massive deaths happening, people are not, they are still so demeaning and mean. So be a nice person. You look at, I do not know, but you look at the golden retriever dog, its brain is so wide. It is such a wonderful being. It is loving, caring, affectionate, and love is all that permeates its being. Because I had a golden retriever, so that's the way. Be a nice person. You may not like so many people, but if you do not like, either I said reconciliate, patch up, build a great friendship, or or stay away. But don't be so vicious and so ruthless and so. I have come across, my God, the amount of people meanness I have come across. And next is be of diamond heart integrity. I will in front of you place a lakh of rupees here, and I will go for a meeting and come back. Not a rupee should be touched. Be absolutely of diamond hard integrity. And secondly, sometimes organizations will restructure, and if you have not upgraded yourself, then you will be pushed out of the sands of time. So therefore, make yourself invaluable, make yourself indispensable. I tell people, make yourself the key or the pin of the grenade, because without you, this organization cannot function. That's the way how invaluable you should be. When that you do, when a restructuring happens, who will be the ones to be terminated? Those who have not refined in their caliber and their excellence. So wherever you're working, there is look at areas that you need to modify and modulate and make sure you are a step ahead. I am 100 years ahead. Mr. Lal Goel will tell you, or Mr. Paul will tell you, I am 100 years ahead of my contemporary science. I have endeavored to do that, because if I don't do that, younger, quicker, far more efficient boys and girls can come and wipe you out of the business. I've seen so many software engineers who have been benched. The word is benched, because they did not take the time and trouble to continuously upgrade their skills, be at the cutting edge of knowledge and ability. And of course, I said speak only good, and be neatly attired, be properly manicured, be properly groomed. Make sure that your shoes are polished, and half it takes to really get the buff. Instead of that, the previous night I discovered some sort of oxidation. Apply polish the previous night. In the next morning, one brush is enough to make your shoe glistening clear. And of course, while in your journey, do not touch your eyes, nose. Today, of course, it is far more valuable. But in social interactions, do not touch your face, do not touch your eyes, nose, mouth, ears. The head don't touch at all, because sometimes catastrophic can happen. The other day, this patient, went to the hospital with a finger, she pushed it into the nose. Next day, she had fever. Third day, she had meningitis. Fifth day, she was dead, leaving behind two young small children. So consequently, therefore, take great care about yourself. Make yourself properly attired, be manicured, polished shoes, groomed hair. And today, of course, I was grotesquely obese until I realized that there is now one slimming pill, which is what I took, and 26 kilos disappeared. If you're really obese and that is coming the way of your career, well, we can share that idea, in which you just need to take a slimming pill and all that fat will burn off. Because in a way, society has a certain image model which you are expected to subscribe to, and be absolutely reliable, be trustworthy, be straightforward, and then don't be a nuisance to others. Whenever I travel and train, I see fellows loudly talking on their mobile phone. I do not hesitate. Straight, I will tell them, excuse me, you're disturbing me. Some fellows act in a very bad manner, but they should have also had the knowledge to say they're disturbing others. If you want to talk on along, go to the corridor next to the thing and then talk. And of course, the regrets of the dying. Live your life in such a manner. I wish I had chosen a profession dear to myself. I wish I had not worked so hard. I wish I had kept in touch with my friends. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. And lastly, I wish I had chosen to be happy. So, with these, I suppose I have touched my time, Mr. Lal.
Yes, Dr. Deven, thank you very much. And what Dr. Deven has spoken, I need not to repeat, but I will just highlight the points which he has given. For a successful person, the professionalism is required. Whatsoever you are doing, even if you are working somewhere, if you are doing your own business, whatsoever profession you are in, first thing he says, keep your mouth shut. Because he is very clear. He says, if you are speaking something, you may be speaking bad, and that should not be there. He says, whenever you want to speak positive. He says, don't criticize anyone unnecessarily. Don't talk about the third party. If he is not there or she is not there, don't mention about her or him. Don't repeat what the third party said for the other person or whatsoever they have said. Give reply as soon as possible. Suppose you received a message or you received a email, Professionalism says, just see to it and reply as per your ability, but reply it. Don't keep it in pending. And he also mentioned no ego, be humble. You have to be humble. You have to have no egos for you. Whatsoever you are, if you are egoless and you are humble, you will be most successful and termed as a most professional person. And whenever somebody give you gift or somebody praise you or somebody give you increment, always acknowledge it. You should not cribble unnecessary. No, this gift is this much, it's not costly, it's cheap, or what he has given me, the increment is less. If you will do like this, you are not in for anything, any favor to you, you must appreciate that favor. And your social expression should be always pleasant, which is a very, very important thing. When you are meeting somebody, you have to be smiling. If you just show the face, you make your faces, that is not a professionalism. What Dr. Devan has explained today, I am sure that you will not find this in your books, you in any of the management books, because it's his experience. He further says that do good deeds. Now, good deeds, so many good deeds. It's not like donating money. Good deeds are helping others. Good deeds, if you help someone, that is a good deed. Then leave politics and religion. If you are not a politician, why you are discussing politics and making others enemy? Religion is fine, but it is up to a limit. If you are following one religion, very good, but religion should not come in front of you when you are in a seat, you are working, or you are doing something. Then he mentioned about the better human being. Yes, if you are doing all good deeds, you have to improve yourself. Whatsoever you are, you have to first become a good human being. If you are a good human being, then you can be a successful doctor, advocate, or working anywhere. But if you are not a good human being, you cannot be termed. You might be minting money, but you have to be a good human being. He also mentioned about integrity, which is very, very important. Your integrity, you whatsoever anybody give you any type of lucrative offer, no, or anything is lying in front of you, your integrity should be there, your intention should be good, always good. You have to make yourself in such a way that nobody would like to leave you. You become indispensable. That is very, very important. There is some saying in Hindi, अपने को इतना ऊंचा उठाओ कि खुदा भी पूछे कि ए तेरी मर्जी क्या है. इतना one person has to become so much indispensable, so much dedicated to the work that any organization chief would not like to leave you. That is professionalism. Then he also mentioned about the upgrade your skills, which is very, very important. Like Dr. Devan mentioned, now he is head of the department, he is has an associate dean and so much experience. Why he should bother? He is getting so many patients, but he always upgrade his skills. That is what is required. Read the journals, attend the seminars, whatsoever you want to do, but please upgrade your skills. If you are not upgrading your skills, after some time, organization boss will tell you, go, you can go. So that is very important. He has also mentioned properly dressed. Yes, that is very, very important. Wherever you are going, whenever you are going, please be in a good attire. Even at home, you must see your attire should be decent after all. And your children are also watching you, going to watch you, or your elders are also going to. They should feel that, yes, you are properly attired. It should be neat and clean. It's not the question of expensive clothes. Whatsoever you are wearing, it should be well pressed. Like he has mentioned about the shoes, that you have to see to it their shoes should be shining. You can do polish yourself. There is no ego hurt in that. And I remember, Dr. Devan, I would like to share, when we were small and we were having, my father was a leading doctor, as you know, and we have no problem as far as the money is concerned. But there was a rule at our home, because we have 4 brothers. Every day, one brother has to polish the shoes of everybody. So we have, once you are doing it, your ego is gone. I can, one more example I can give you. If you go to any of the Gurudwara, you will find the richest persons are going to take your shoes, ladies and gents, and they will polish your shoes. I asked, why you are doing, you are such a big businessman, many multi-millionaire or billionaire. He said, this is why if you will polish somebody else's shoes, your ego is zero. What Dr. Devan has mentioned. If you have no ego, you will be always successful. Then he has mentioned, don't touch your face. It's bad manners. So try to avoid touching your face. And nowadays, the corona and the COVID has always, everyone is preaching that please don't touch the face. But he says, whenever you are meeting somebody, try to avoid touching the face or the nose or something like that. And keep always yourself fit. You should not be obese. If you are obese, people will not take you seriously, and that is also one of the part of the professionalism, and many other things which he has mentioned, which has described very nicely. And I'm sure not those youth who are participating, but all the youths or even the seniors citizens like me are getting so much inspiration and motivational and knowledge which he has given today and is going to give again is something. And he has mentioned one thing: he never gives these tips free of charge, but his greatness, I can give thanks to the Global TV and V4 News that today Dr. Devan is giving his tips for the benefit of the public at large. I will also mention one thing before I will call you the youths, that our very first program, which I did with Dr. Devan, became a sensational YouTube, millions of likes, where he has mentioned how one can avoid coronavirus. And this was when the coronavirus started. And those who have accepted or those who have adopted that thing, like I mentioned before I started the program, that he has given a tip that please drink hot water, sip it every in the morning, drink it. That will keep you fresh and keep the virus away. Now, these things has been given by doctor, a person who is knowledgeable. And this is what a professionalism means. Professionalism means you have to impart your knowledge, but imparting knowledge is very good, but accepting the knowledge is also very much required. It should not happen whatsoever he is saying. We are just listening, and after that, oh, what is the score? India, England is playing. What is the score? Forget about this thing. No, we must, after all, the idea or the idea of these types of media conferences to impart the knowledge from those who are expert, learned, people, and Dr. Devan is one of them. Thank you very much, Dr. Devan, for giving so many good tips. I can tell you today, when you are telling all these tips, I was remembering my younger time when I was doing business, and many of these things I also always tell my employees at that time, please do this. But they, whosoever has followed, fine, good luck to them. But who has not followed this, good luck to them also. But that is very much required, and Dr. Devan has made very many things clear. Now I would like to invite my youth guest, and I would like to invite my first youth guest. She's Archa Sudhir VP. Miss Archa, please unmute yourself. Miss Archa, you have heard what Dr. Devan has spoken about
Oh,
the
yes, sir.
role of youth in professionalism. Now, we would like to know your views about role of youth in professionalism. Ms. Archa Sudhir VP, please.
Professionalism is a challenging concept to understand. It could be related to the level of competence, knowledge, or skill in a particular field. Professionalism could include personal qualities of behavior. We should look out for each other and find a way to work together. Teamwork is an important part of professionalism. There are many different types of professionals: accountant, teacher, technician, engineer, doctor, lawyer, etc. In this kind of profession, if youth are involved, there will be improvement in the sector. In the present scenario, the importance of youth are rising in different sectors. Let's take a look onto social workers field. The most of the younger generation tends to opt this sector as they are most active ingredients in the development of the society. At the time of pandemic, the society were at the tip of decline. Many industries were ending or shutting down, and the elder generation were not allowed to work for hours. But the involvement of youth could be effectively visible. Many of youth workers, including the nurses, were working day and night for the welfare and lifting up the society. After the outbreak of the coronavirus, security systems were more alert compared to before. For example, we can take the instances of police force. They were working even harder than before to save a life, and most of the younger generation were alert for days and nights in order to save the public from COVID-19. In order to uplift the society, youth contributes in major as organize different campaigns to reduce the flow of alcohol in our country. Also, other groups emerges to retain the lost childhood on the street. There are different charity organizations on the behalf of the youth leaders to educate children from street. The level of unemployment in engineering sector is high in this particular field. Let's take the example in Kerala itself. BTech is considered to be a lower grade of qualification to be an engineer. The level on the period of experience is a factor which decides the position. Coming on to the medical field, the demand of experienced workers are high compared to the freshers. In the government recruitment, like example PSC, is also looking for experienced workers to lift up their sector. Even if a person is appearing on the list, they may get job even after years. Certain business sectors are also in the hands of the youth. Innovative ideas are born in between youngsters, and also they are free to lift in different parts of the world. Coming on to the film sector, realistic movies are common these days, and also different kind of variety themes and ideas are raised with the interventions of young directors. Example, like Malayalam movie actor Prithviraj, movie 9. Many famous songs, melodies are sung and directed by emerging youth artists. So, this I want to tell to you. Let me conclude my words by mentioning that youth are always important part of the upliftment of the society. As a youth, I always wanted to put my all efforts for the development of the society. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Archa. And I am keeping the comments, and I am sure Dr. Deven is going to give his comments when he will be giving his concluding remarks about what you have spoken and what he thinks what is to be done. So now I would like to move to my next youth guest, and he is Mr. Karthik G. Nayak. Mr. Karthik Nayak, please unmute yourself. You have heard what our chief guest, Dr. P.P. Devan has spoken, as well as the earlier youth guest has spoken. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in professionalism. First, you introduce yourself and then you speak, please.
Okay, sir. My name is Karthik J. Nayak. I'm pursuing my bachelor in BCom in Swastika National School, Mangalore. So, the topic on role of youth in professionalism. Although profession and professionalism goes together, the role of youth also plays a vital part. Professionalism develop a meaningful relationship with young people that support their successful transition to adulthood and careers. Profession and professionalism goes with an idea after completing a certain discipline. However, the youth can have a serious look as the people have lost their integrity in their respective professions. If the youth can seriously believe and follow the belief and the faith is serious with the integrity, this comes into the picture. Things can only be achieved only when there are aims in it. A dedicated and serious faith followed towards anything will reach its finality. The youth should be honest and faithfully towards its practice. The preachers only preach but not follow. This is one of the drawbacks and the reason why do not follow anything they are preached. Here too, it should not be mere topic but real practical one. One should not find one should not find out, the one can blindly follow the preachers. Hence, the act of professionalism comes into play. Taking out of the idea, let me give an driver's example. We travel day in and day out. If the driver is totally not into his profession, it may cause life together in totality. Will anyone have faith and belief to travel in a public transport? Hence, a simple example not going too far. We often good with business, houses and secretaries and with many other big jobs. But there is a professionalism everywhere. Hence, leading the nation is leading the nation to its story state, even after the rich resources and the nature blessings. If professionalism was followed very true to its motive and faith, we would have been the richest, strongest, and comfortable nation in the world. Hence, a serious and disciplined look is to be given to the above thought. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nayak, for giving your views about the professionalism. Now, I would like to move to my next youth guest, and she is Miss Lisa Dan Philip. Miss Philip, you have heard our chief guest, Dr. P.P. Devan, and earlier youth guests who have spoken. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in professionalism. Miss Lisa Dan Philip, please.
Good morning and a warm welcome to everyone. I'm Lisa Dan Philip, representing Kulapati Munshi Bhavans Vidya Mandir from Thrissur, Kerala. I'm a class 11 student, and it is an honor to be given the opportunity to speak at such a forum about the role of youth in professionalism. I think it's best if we begin by understanding what professionalism really is. It is a characteristic consonant with a strong sense of discipline and a rigorous adherence to a set of standards and codes which sets individuals apart in every walk of life. In IT parlance, they call it the gold standard. Professionalism can sometimes even become a way of life for those who are obsessed with the minutest of details, with an insatiable thirst to always come out on top as they weather the greatest of storms. When we think of professionals, names like Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw, MS Dhoni in cricket, Michael Phelps in swimming, and even Warren Buffett in finance flood our minds. But the youngsters of our generation are not too far behind. Take a look at Geetanjali Rao, a young Indian American scientist and inventor named the first ever Kid of the Year by Times Magazine, and Nihal Sarin, the 15-year-old chess prodigy and grandmaster, to name a few. Professionalism is not a hereditary trait. Rather, it is a quality that is earned through years of sheer hard work and a can-do attitude. You don't need to be APJ Abdul Kalam or CV Raman to be reckoned as a professional. Instead, professionalism is a quality that can be easily instilled with the proper guidance in the early school years. I think our chief guest, Dr. Devan, has put it in very simple words. If you don't have anything nice to say, it's best to keep your mouth shut. I think in any professional career, it is important to know how and when to choose our words. And expanding our knowledge is always a good idea. I think the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, put it in his very best words. Live as if you were to die tomorrow and learn as if you were to live forever. With the right resources and mentors, we can prepare our youth for the wide world out there. This can be done by encouraging and nurturing their natural abilities to bring out the best from within. It is the need of the hour to teach our youth basic qualities like discipline and perseverance to start with. Ideally, towards the end of their schooling, high school and college students must be fairly exposed to the real life skills needed to excel in an office workspace, where problem solving and team building skills come in most handy, which is why these students must be gradually groomed on effective and efficient work habits to build competence and character. A confident, qualified student right out of college is every employer's dream. These individuals, whether employed in the public or the private sector, or perhaps even driven to pursue business ventures of their own, if properly encouraged, can form the backbone of our workforce. And it is important to remember that skill will only get you through the door. It is your professionalism and your integrity that make sure that you stay where you are and forge ahead in your career. given that the median age in India is estimated to be in the early 20s in the coming years. It is the absolute need of the hour to inculcate in our youth the tools and skills that they will need to lead our country towards a better future. Given any simple task, we ask ourselves how to do it, or better yet, how to do it efficiently. After all, that is the difference between a professional and an amateur. It is a long-worn stereotype that while the younger generation seems to be bountiful when it comes to ideas and creative thinking, they lack the experience that is needed to execute those same ideas with the ease and smoothness that a professional may provide. However, someone who can combine these two would become an absolute force of nature. Finally, I'd like to conclude by saying that there's no learning without mistakes, but a professional would learn from someone else's mistakes rather than their own. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lisa Dan Philip, for giving your views. Now, I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she is Ms. Manchira K. Sangma. Ms. Sangma, you have heard what our chief guest, Dr. Devin, has spoken, as well as earlier youth guests. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in professionalism. Ms. Manchira K. Sangma, please.
And chief guest, Professor Dr. P.P. Devan, and everyone present here, a very good morning to all. I, Manchira K. Sangma from Loyola College of History Department, and I will be giving a presentation on the given topic, that is role of youth in professionalism. Prior to my presentation, I would like to thank Loyola College for this opportunity and Global TV for organizing such a wonderful event, and also for giving me this platform to share some of my thoughts. Well, professionalism is a broad topic. It is commonly can be described as skills, qualities, aims, behavior, attitude, and so on. In simple words, it is the way we present ourselves or the way we carry ourselves to our surroundings or our environment. It can be in any field, be in school, college, job, career, and so on. According to Merriam-Webster, professionalism is a skill, good judgment, and polite behavior that is expected from a person who is trained to do a job well. Back to the topic, that is role of youth. Well, we all know that youth are the backbone of the society. The future of our society depends on the youth of its society. So, being a youth myself, I find some of the few points which are worth mentioning. And they are,
Miss Sangma, your head is cut, so bring your head in the screen. Please bring your head in the screen. Yes, please.
Is it
This is a
okay,
live
sir?
telecast. Yeah, now it's better.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Number one, as a dedication. Number two, as a behavior. Number three, as a responsibility. Number four, as a punctuality. Number five, as a body language. Number six, as an attitude. And number seven, as an appearance. So dedication, I'm sorry, I have a little technical problem.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead, please.
Dedication, it is one of the key towards our success. Being dedicated towards our works, good cause, will always result in happiness and success. So as a youth, we need to dedicate ourselves. For most of us as a youth, we are free from the family responsibilities, and also we have enough time. So as a youth, we need to do is we have to dedicate ourselves towards our goal so that we could become a successful person in life. Number two, as behavior. Behavior is observable and measurable. It is also a key point towards our success. Once our good and bad behavior can be seen by others through our actions as a youth, we need to behave in a proper way. One's behavior matters a lot, as it's explained everything about the person who she is. Number three, as a responsibility. Taking responsibility for one's Taking responsibility for one's action is also a part of being professionalism. Instead of blaming others for one's failure is a bad habit. So as a youth, we should learn to respect, we should learn to take responsibilities for our own actions instead of blaming others. And this will help us in become a successful person. Number 4 is punctuality. Number 4 is punctuality. It is a very important role. Punctuality is a virtue that leads to a great achievement in life. A punctual person is always respected by everyone. So as a youth, we all know the importance of time and its value. Punctuality matters a lot everywhere, be in school, college, career, job, business, and so on. Punctuality also helps us to build our self-confidence to another level. So it is very important. Number 5 is body language. One body speaks a lot about what kind of person we are. The way we talk, the way we dress, or even so the kind of friends we make, we mingle with. So we need to be aware of what we are doing as a youth. We must try to avoid bad habits and behaviors. Number 6 is attitude. As a youth, our attitude towards our peers, our society, our friends, teachers, and others matters a lot. Being a youth, we must need to adopt a good attitude. We must need to adopt a good attitude in ourselves as a youth. We must try to adopt a positive attitude and try to accept challenges and face new things, whether the challenge is big or small. A person who possesses positive attitude makes every difficult work look easier. That's why attitude is really important to become a successful person in life. Last one but not least here, number 7 is appearance. Appearance. Here, while I'm talking about appearance, I didn't mean to talk about the physical appearance, facial structure, skin color, and the like, but I'm here to talk about the way we address ourselves. As a youth, appearance matters a lot for most of the youth. The kind of dress we wear, and the way we talk or the way we address ourselves is really important. So as a student or as a youth, I would like to cite an example based on our uniform. As we are students, so I would like to cite an example based on the uniform. Every school or colleges, most of the colleges have uniforms, so we wear uniforms to go to college. But we must make sure, one thing I would like to say, that we must make sure that we should wear uniform in a proper way, and we should always check that our uniform is neat and clean. It is more important because the way we wear our uniform in a proper way or in a neat and clean manner, it shows how we respect our uniform and to our schools. So as I already mentioned, as a youth, we are the backbone of the society, and our future society depends on us. We must prepare ourselves to become a successful person so that we could lead a standard living of life to another level. As it is our behavior, skill, attitude, and the like, that is professionalism. So with this, my presentation on the topic role of youth come to an end. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sangma, for giving your views. Although there was a net problem, and it is nothing new, because for last 1 week, this net problem is faced in many cities, even in the metros we have faced. So it is a common thing right now. So we have to bear, our viewers have to bear this technical hitch, which is beyond our control. Now I would like to invite, if Mr. Akshay Hegde is there. Yes, please. Good. Now go ahead. You have heard Mr. Akshay Hegde, our chief guest, Dr. P.P. Devan, as well as earlier youth guest. Now you would like to know from you the role of youth in professionalism. No, I think Mr. Hegde's net is giving problem continuously. So we are afraid that we have to now go back to our chief guest, because we can't waste our time only for this, because the time is limited. As you know, it's a live telecast. So Dr. Devin, our chief guest. Dr. Devin, you have heard all our youth guests, although there were some technical problems which is prevailing for last 1 week, which we are facing every day nowadays for the net problem. But they have made their points, and they have made the points in a different ways. You have heard everyone. Now you have 10 minutes. So we want you to give your concluding remarks, as well as more inspirational and motivational things, so the youth of our country, rather globally, will get that advantage of your expertise. Dr. Devin, please.
So the most important points and then on. What is the most important point for my children when they were studying? I said perfect English, one word every day. Because today, in spite of whatever caliber, skills, and knowledge and degrees you may have, we wait to be recruited by multinational companies. And in that regard, they specifically look at English speaking skills. I have put an enormous amount of effort in my voice, in my words, in my diction, in my pronunciation, in my repertoire. You have to put in that effort. Otherwise, what will happen? Recently, there was a campus placement, 300 business management bachelor students went, only 10 were selected. Shouldn't others also be selected? Shouldn't they also have a better career? I went to these colleges and I told them in the parent teacher meeting, what effort have you put in English speaking skills, in networking, in communication, in writing a resume writing? You have not bothered about all that. You just take in students and then push them through the system, give some marks and push them out. Have you really made them employable? You have not. So you are the captain of your ship. You are the master of your destiny. You take a pen and write your own career. No one can save you from error or sin unless you listen to your spirit within. You are your own God. You are your own devil. You footpath. You mark the path that your footpath will trod. No one can save you from error or sin unless you listen to the spirit within. So, what are the key take home points? Be humble, be very good in English, be very good in your knowledge, and be focused on your career planning. And more than anything else, keep your mouth shut and be humble. If you are so, you will rise to the very top, and maybe like Sundar Pichai, CEO, how much he earns? About 1 crore every minute, I believe. But give back to the society too, because society has contributed to your growth too. 10% give it back. It is only then that you can enjoy 90% of the money that you make. God bless, good speed, do well in life, and bring glory to India.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Deven. Dr. Deven and all our viewers, today what outcome of this particular session has come is that professionalism is not only limited to one thing. It's having a vast phenomena, one can say. We can because in every sphere of life, every aspect, professionalism is required. Now I'm asking you a question. Now as a youth, whatsoever Dr. Deven has mentioned, so many points he has mentioned. But youths are involved in politics every day. You see on the WhatsApp, on the social media,
Yes.
they are involving themselves pro or against the government, and they are sending forwards as well as they are putting their own comments. So how you say that whatsoever Dr. Deven has mentioned that you have taken, because I don't think that youths are going to be aloof from politics. What Dr. Deven meant is not that you should not be talking about the politics. He means when you are going to for work, if you are working, if you are a professional. Dr. Deven, today the condition of youth is that they all are involved in the politics very much, because like the 2 days back, you might have seen in the media that there one youth, not from India, from other country, they have put something on social media about farmers' agitation. And then there was a reaction from our country. So many youths are putting things. Now, what professionalism says, first thing, whether she I can name the Rihanna and Miss Rihanna and Miss Gricha. They have put some comments. Whether the professionalism says that they should have put the comment or not, yeah, if yes, or even no, then whether the way we are reacting, whether this comes under professionalism or not. Dr. Devan, please.
Sir, I have great appreciation for Greta Thunberg for her climate change philosophy. But then she should stick to it and not make a comment about anything else. So much so, Rihanna too. We should stay away from commenting about another. That's why I said the third party. They can look after their Rihanna's music or Greta Thunberg's atmospheric saying. They're all done great job. But stay away from. That's why I said react, respond, restrain. Restrain. Nature, universe, God, divinity will eventually solve matters. What is their eagerness to comment about the internal matter of our country? No, I will say absolutely. Sir, if I sit in the chair of professor, head of department, associate dean, it is because I have strictly stayed away from politics and religion. That's how it is.
So according to you, once you are sitting on a chair or working anywhere, you should not do anything talk about politics and religion. Okay, I am sure that it is a very clear point. Miss Lisa, you want to ask any question to Dr. Devan?
Yes, sure, sir.
Yeah,
I'd like
please.
to ask just one thing. Of course, we have seen that professionalism can include a wide variety of abilities. Which one ability would you say is above all?
Keep your mouth shut.
Yes, sir.
You can express your talent. Akilanda Mandala Mani Churuki Adinullinananda Deepam Kolutti. You can express your musical talent. I am an A plus singer and share your talent. But apart from that, keep your mouth shut.
What Dr. Devan, which I could understood is that once you are working anywhere, you are not supposed to talk anything apart from what is required for the work. If you are working in an organization, you have to work and you have to just talk only for the work, not anything else. Is it correct, Dr. Devan?
Absolutely. And as far as a girl is concerned, I know it's a little delicate, but I've seen so many girls crashed in their. Why? Because a guy will approach them, then they will think it's a big thing. And finally, such great tragedies I have seen. Parents have brought up girls to focus on their career and be the best, and eventually they will arrange their life partner. But I've seen so many girls who have got stuck with small, mediocre careers, and ultimately great tragedies I have seen. So be careful as far as a girl is concerned. A guy doesn't matter, but for a girl, you are vulnerable. Love is blind. Be careful and be warned.
So what Dr. Devan says is, if you are studying, please, professionalism also says that if you are studying, concentrate on your studies, complete your studies properly. This is also one of the quality of the professionalism, and don't go here and there unnecessarily, because otherwise you can spoil your own career. Thank you very much, Ms. Liza, for asking the question. I can see Ms. Archa Sudhir has joined again. Are you there? You would like to have a question, Ms. Archa?
What all things can a youth for the development of the society?
She says that what youth should do for the development of the society. Correct, Ms. Archa?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now let me make it very clear. Development of society, there are others to take care of it. You develop yourself. You develop yourself in the way your knowledge, your voice, your English. I still note a tiny little Malayali accent percolating. I come from UK too. UK stands for Upper Kerala. I've put in an enormous amount of effort to ensure that the Malayali English does not percolate into my English. Can you even detect a tinge of Malayalam? No. So you improve yourself in very many ways. Don't look at society. Society will not care for you. Virtues of selfishness. Read that book.
Okay. Or otherwise, what Dr. Devan is saying, if you improve yourself, definitely the society will also improve. Because if every individual, a society is nothing but the club of the individuals. And if all individuals improve themselves, automatically the society and in turn the country will improve. Correct, Dr. Devan?
Yes, sir, because you look at a doctor who failed in his work. He failed in his practice. He rejected his practice and started a medical college. TMA Pi, what a legacy he has left behind. the Manipal group.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so thank you very much. Today you have seen, viewers, that the professionalism is there everywhere. Whether you are working, whether you are a businessman or doing service, whether you are serving in government or private, or even work from home. And as Dr. Devan has explained, our chief guest has explained, you have to have those golden points. If you keep in your mind those points, you can be a real professional. And once you are a real professionalism, you can be successful. Yes, Dr. Devan, you want to say something?
One thing I want to tell the panelists who are here, if they follow our dictums and directions, in about 10 to 20 years, they will be driving BMWs and Mercedes. May they give us a lift, both of us.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Devan. I'm sure all our viewers, youth viewers, are going to be driving all those expensive cars. Thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you everyday new topic. And tomorrow our topic is joint family versus nuclear family. Yes, today everybody knows that there is a very much point of discussion whether the joint family is better, the nuclear family. So the panelists are Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, Chairman of Gyandeep Shiksha Bharati Senior Secondary School, Mathura; Advocate Madhulika Sainia, Practicing Advocate, Delhi; Miss Ruchira Sharma, Regional Director, People Strong, New Delhi. So please tune in tomorrow for media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. to watch the show. Thank you very much, Dr. Devan, our chief guest, for giving your views. And I'm sure your views today are not only motivational and inspirational only for youths, but everyone, all from the sphere of the society. And thank you all my youth guests who have joined and giving your valuable views. Thank you all our viewers for watching our show. Thank you very much.